Hi, the video I've done will come to an abrupt end. I was going to show the cooking of a risotto from scratch that's using uncooked rice on the primeless Omni stove and Omni fuel stove, that is. And I was going to do an overview of the two tarps that I've got, the new one that I bought plus the old Hoochie. But sadly I hadn't erased some old footage on my camera and I run out of memory space, so what follows will end abruptly. But I did have a good day out. It was very sunny and wonderful. I spent a good few hours out in the woods and it's really enjoyable. I saw a couple of deer, a buzzard being mobbed by some crows, few bumblebees. It was just a brilliant time and real chilled, so enjoy the following video, my friends. Well guys, it's very early, well it's not that early on a Monday morning, I'm a little bit later getting out and I'm having a wander around these woods. Gonna have a bite to eat, set some new gear up, and I'm gonna do as requested, or well not actually requested, it was a sort of someone inquired about my tarp that I used, so I'm going to do a little overview on that, and I'm going to have a nice day in the woods. Well, just a nice time really. It's grand here. We've had torrential rain, but more on that in a minute. I'm just going to put this into silent mode so you can hear the birdies sing. This, my friend, is normally quite dry. This spring dried up a bit, but now the spring has sprung, so to speak. There you go, folks. Well, I'm just off out. More in a minute. This is lady smock, Cardamom pratensis, and there's loads of it around here. Thankfully the council hasn't decided to mow this piece of grass for the last few weeks. Oh, some wild edibles for today. I'm going to pick myself some garlic mustard and have that with my nibbles later. Rather nice stuff. It's known in the UK, or in parts of the UK, as Jack by the Hedge. Oh, I don't know whether you can see this, guys, but here is a fox trail. And it leads way up to there, but if you follow it back you can follow it straight through that hole in the hedge. Right guys, what I'm doing today is I'm trying that. It's a gas cartridge for the primeless Omni fuel stove. It's a mix of propane, isobutane and butane. This is 100 grams, so it should last a couple of brews. I would say it's about a 45-60 minute burn time, and it's been a long time since I used this stuff. It's just an experiment. I'm away in a few weeks, we'll find out. Okay, catch you in a bit. Well guys, I've got my tea in this little GSI cup with a homemade pot cosy just to keep it warm. And it does. Ooh, that's a little too hot for me. It's pu-erh tea today. It's a nice sort of strong strong tasting tea, and duck egg sandwich. I'm going to have cook up later on. I'm going to do myself a little risotto. I've got all the ingredients there. A bit of ham, a bit of samphire. Actually, it's Parma ham. Very nice. What else? Oh yeah, and some of that Jack by hedge I picked earlier. I've had a few good weeks, and I'm going to have a little chat in a minute. I'm going to enjoy this bit of sun for a while. I shall be back in a minute with a bit of burblage and some other bits and pieces, and have a nice breakfast. Well guys, I've had my sandwich made from lovely duck eggs, you know, duck egg filling. I've had to take the pot cosy off the GSI cup. It was keeping it too hot, and I do like to drink my tea, and you know, don't want it scalded with gob. Anyway, for me personally, it's been a hectic 3 weeks. I've moved, and I've started what is essentially a new job. I'm working for the same company but in a different branch in Tunbridge Wells, and in a completely new concept bakery. It's good fun, it's enjoyable, it's stressful and it's challenging, and I'm enjoying it immensely. It's great to actually come home every night. You know, it was a time when, for the last few years, where I've been splitting my time between here and Maidstone. But that's all by the by now. I'm home, got a lovely lady in my life. She means the world to me. I think she's the bee's knees, as we say in the UK. But anyway, I'm well impressed with the using the butane gas cartridge. As efficient as using the power gas, power fuel that Primus produce as well. Great bit of kit. Very impressed. Whether I'll be taking this with me on my axe course, not axe course, my fire skills course, I don't know, because I got the details through on that the other day, and we can actually light open fires. So what I'll probably do is take me little Trangia triangle for the quick brew up in the mornings, because you know and it could rain. It's self-catering as well, this course, so I've got what, Friday night, Saturday 3 meals, Sunday 2 meals. I've got about 7 meals to put together of one form or another. Well, as it happens, I work in a supermarket, so it shouldn't be too bad. Might take a bit of fresh out with me. Most people I've met on these courses tend to pack up dried and ready meals, and they sit there having a bit of a whinge sometimes, particularly when on one course I was on, this girl was a bit of a gourmet Chinese cook, and well, she'd lived in China for about 15-20 years, and she was actually excellent. Some of the stuff she produced, and it was all done in over a hobo stove, or actually the honey stove, and a wok. Anyway, what's happened in my world of bushcraft? The usual sort of threads and comments coming up on some of the forums I'm on. One guy, because it is very windy here of late, and I mean really windy, it was like hold on to your wigs. Reckon that, oh, you know, what he calls a twig and leaf shelter wouldn't hold up to much, but I don't think he's ever built one, to be quite honest, because anyone who's ever built a debris shelter knows that if it's well made, it will stand up to most things apart from, say, a thermonuclear explosion. But that's by the by. You know, these people play. Some people play at bushcraft. In fact, we all play at bushcraft. Some of us are lucky to have it as a profession, and some of us do it basically as a hobby. For me, this is just wilderness skills. Today, I'm essentially camping in the woods. Ultimately, that's what it is. real bushcraft isn't just going out into the woods. Real bushcraft in my book is doing what Dick Pronicki did. He went out, built a log cabin and lived there for right up until his 80s, I think. And he was 50 when he went out into the Alaskan wilderness to do this. Bushcraft isn't necessarily just sitting in the woods necking a few beers, or in my case tea. Wilderness skills and bushcraft and forest skills and all that sort of, and all the associated stuff, it's actually a craft. You know, it's taking home some wood and sitting in your back garden or backyard and carving a spoon. You don't have to come out into the woods to carve the spoon. It's nice to do it out here, and it's also nature watching. I noticed while I was having my sandwich that, you know, being very quiet, only about 6 feet away, a squirrel was quite oblivious to my presence, and it was marvellous. You watched it go up a tree, or I watched it go up a tree, you didn't, and it's great. And Alfie over there, he's sitting in the sun, he paid no mind to the squirrel, which was very unusual, and it was just great. Sitting out here in the peace and the quiet. Well, it's almost peaceful and quiet. I mean, in the distance that way, and in fact that way and that way, almost all around me is that low roar of traffic in the distance, the hum of modern society. And above me I can hear aircraft, but then again I'm not too far from Gatport Airwick. Anyway, and of course, trying to drown all that out is the speech of the wind through the trees and the birds chittering and chattering. It's great. Bought some new books. One's a biography on Scott to complement the biography of Amundsen that I got the other week. Book on trees. This is a D&K book, and it basically does with trees around the world. But as we live in a world where we transplant one plant from one part of the world to another, which we have done for a millennia. I mean, for a long time we've been doing that. But more so for ornamental purposes. It's great to have all those trees. I mean, we grow maidenhair here, Ginkgo biloba, and originally it's from China. So you know. And it's quite an easy tree to identify. Some trees are very difficult, particularly the various conifers and cypresses. And I've picked up, and I shall be doing a bit of a review on this, the one book that any forager worth their salt should have in their collection, and that's Richard Maybe's Food for Free. This year it is 40 years old, and it is the foraging Bible in a lot of senses, and they've brought out a 40th edition, a 40th year edition, and that's number 3 of all the Food for Free books that I've got. And this one's a hardcover. It's quite large, so you can't slip it in your rucksack. Well, you can do, but it'll take up a lot of room. And it's got a lot to do with, it's got a lot more photographs in it, and it looks quite good. And I bought a small sort of book called A Year in the Woods, where a guy's basically lived a year doing wood crafting and green woodwork. There's not a lot else to say really. I mean, I can burble on and on about views on bushcraft. I mean, thankfully the knife junkies have kept their heads down. I did have you may have seen on one of my things, Nathan Shepherd mentioned about knives. You know, a chief in Scotland can carry a 9-inch dirk, and someone else talking can carry a 4-inch fixed blade. What I was trying to put over is, and I think I may have mentioned this, if you're caught carrying a fixed blade, you have to have good cause to carry it. Ignorance is no defence, and this comes from a piece of paper when I bought my Ray Mears knife, and they send you a piece of paper with it covering this aspect of knife law. I do think knife laws in this country are a bit odd, because the thing is, when they pass a law, whether it's a law to do with firearms, driving, any law, often the people it's meant to affect won't affect. You can pass any amount of gun laws in the UK, or anywhere in the world for that matter, but the person that's going to use the gun for a nefarious purpose will take no notice of that law anyway. I mean, we still have gun crime in this country, and the gun crime is caused by people that hold the gun illegally. So. But, you know, that's something to moot upon. We vote governments into power, and the politicians essentially lose the plot as soon as they get voted in. Each and every politician is voted there to serve us. Ultimately they are our servants. We are not their servants. So I think a lot of politicians have got that muddled up. You know, we vote them to basically take care of us. You know, many people come up with conspiracy theories, but they're there to take care of us. In a little while I'll be setting up my tarps. I bought a new tarp, but I bought some new kit. I bought an otter box, which is basically a dry box. This is a black one. You can get them in various colours, and it's for when I go canoeing. I have yet to get out on a canoe. What with the change of my work circumstances and many other things, I've yet to get out. I bought a new tarp. This one's slightly longer than my hoochie, but in a little while, and I'll probably do, and I will do this as a separate video. I'll be doing a review of my Australian hoochie, which I bought a couple of years back. It's a really good piece of kit, and I will go over it and some of my views on it. And I'll be rigging up my new tarp, slinging the hammock underneath it, because going up the Lake District it rains, and when I took the hoochie up there, it's just a tad on the small side. Anyway, I've burbled on enough, guys. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to spend a few minutes enjoying this sun, a few minutes finishing this up, and just enjoy this peace and quiet. It's really nice. I'm hoping in a few weeks to go further afield. Now that I'm living here in Tunbridge Wells permanently, I can actually get out a bit more. Last couple of weeks I've just been too knackered basically to get out, walk doggy in the evenings. You know, I get home and I just can't move. Such as the opening of a new store. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit, guys, when I'm cooking my risotto up. Well, there it is. I've had this a couple of years now. It's a really good piece of kit. This is imported from Australia, and as far as I know, it can only be bought through the Woodlaw website. It's the Australian hoochie. It's not a cheap piece of kit. When I bought this, it was just under £60. Now Woodlaw knock them out at £90. To be quite honest, you can actually buy as good a piece of kit from the local army surplus store for about 40 quid, or go to the DD hammock site. But I like this hoochie, and it does have a number of other benefits, should I say, when it comes to making 4-season shelters, and other bits and bobs. You only get the top, you don't get all the fixings. Woodlaw sell the fixings separately, which I think is a bit cheeky, but we've all got to make money in this world, and you know, you might see a guy running around the woods, you know, Ray or Fair or whoever, you know, Les Stroud, you know, it costs money for them to do it. They don't do it, they do it for the sheer fun of it, but they also need to make a living. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. We all got to make a living somehow. But I have a lot of other views on that, and maybe in the future videos I'll come. Anyway.